What's up, guys? Brian here. We have a catfish epidemic, a tranny epidemic, a dog mom epidemic. We have a lot of epidemics going on out there, guys, but let's just focus on the catfish right now. How to avoid getting catfished, and a couple of my stories about getting catfished. So, obviously, it is not going to get better with the catfish, considering there are all these filters. If you think about, different types of catfish, let's just say a low level catfish. Let's say a chick that, maybe she's not the best looking or whatever, but she's using like the perfect angles, and then she's using makeup with a filter on top, and that's all you're seeing. If you see profile pictures on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, wherever, and it's filter every time, everything has makeup and filter, be weary. Be very, very weary. Honestly, if I see that, a lot of times I just swipe left, or I don't deal with it. I'm not gonna try to meet them because they're hiding something. Now, there's obviously different levels of catfish. I mean, you can have catfish clear to the point where it's a gay guy that's using somebody else's pictures completely. I've had that happen to me. Pretty much every guy that's ever been on Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and these kind of things has been catfished to some degree, whether it's that the girl was overweight and she was 40, 50 pounds heavier than her pictures looked, or straight out to where it's like a guy trying to meet you and pretending to be a girl, or you have the tranny situation where they don't even a lot of times disclose it. Maybe their first picture is like makeup and then filter on top of filter practically, and then you're just kind of swiping fast and you swipe right, and then after you end up matching, and then you're like looking down through there and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. And then it says like maybe like at the very end of some long description, it says like T girl or like TS or something like that for transsexual. And you're just like, wait, whoa. You're like, what the heck? And you're looking closer at the pictures, and it's just very deceiving and very insane. So obviously with the Snapchat filter that basically changes your gender, as you can see in this particular picture, it can do pretty convincing things, and it's pretty hilarious to play around with if you're like drunk or high or something. But yeah, it is not fun if that's pretty much what you're dealing with to try to sort through these women, and you don't want to waste your time and all that kind of stuff. So a couple things just to help like avoid it. If every picture again is filtered and makeup, I would just like not spend your time on it. Just forget about it. I even had a friend that was talking to a chick for like 3 months, that he was going through Washington essentially because he's visiting family. He matches with this girl. She has, filters and makeup on every single thing. And then he did FaceTime with her, but she always had makeup on. It was always makeup, heavy makeup. And I was just like, dude, like, you're talking to her for so long, you don't know what she looks like, you're down in California, you're talking to this girl in Washington, just forget about it. And she was a single mom on top of that. And there was just a lot of red flags. So ultimately they didn't end up meeting up, and he wasted essentially like 3 or 4 months, and it was just a mess. So you don't want to mentally get caught up on one girl. He should have continued to talk to other girls. But again, if they don't have that many pictures, if they're cutting the picture off like mid-arm and it's just chest up, face up, they're hiding something. If they don't have any full body pictures, they're hiding something. If there's filters and makeup in every picture, they're hiding something. And then, on top of that, you want to get to a point where you're connecting to them. You want to get them off the app pretty quick. You want to get them off of Tinder, get them off Bumble, get them off of Hinge. Wherever you're talking to them, you want to get them off of there. And then you want to get them over to something like Instagram or Snapchat. And then you want to send like real-time pictures back and forth just to verify. And you want to try to get them in a situation where you're talking like via video, like FaceTime and stuff like that. And hopefully they don't have so much makeup on. And then you want to try to meet them. And then if they're like, oh, I'm not ready and I don't have my makeup and all this kind of stuff, it's like, okay, well, I don't have makeup on either. So it's just really a kind of a double standard and everything. And if they're so reliant on makeup and filters, you pretty much just need to move on. So Another thing too is, like, again, the best way to verify people is get them over to Instagram, get them over to Snapchat. And I wasn't doing that, to be honest with you, a couple years ago, and it kind of burned me. But if you get them over to there, you need to get them off the app regardless. But a lot of times I was going over to text. Don't go over to text typically. Go to Snapchat or Instagram, because then you can do the real time picture, and then you can see their other pictures on Instagram, and you can kind of see their stories throughout time if they're posting stuff on Snapchat or Instagram. So it makes them seem more real. If they're putting stuff out there and then it's like, okay, this person's real, or they have a long track history on Instagram where they've been posting for 3 or 4 years. If they suddenly have some profile that is just like a month old and everything was uploaded the same day, and then you're like, wait, what? So I've been catfished like that, where I started getting skeptical, and then it was weird. I think even one girl reported me to Tinder. I actually got banned from Tinder. And I think it was all mainly because of this one catfish chick that was acting very, very strange, didn't have pictures on her Instagram. And I was like, wait a minute, send me a picture. I snapped a picture of myself and sent it to her. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. And I have a couple friends that got banned from Bumble. But yeah, a lot of these women, they could just report you and you can just get kicked off of this stuff. So I'll do another video about getting back on that stuff. But at the end of the day, also, don't get too reliant, obviously, on Tinder and Bumble. I know somebody's going to say this. They're going to say, well, don't go to Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and all that kind of stuff. It's all trash, and there's catfish and there's trannies and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if you're not utilizing those mechanisms, you're probably missing out on a lot of potential girls. I met a lot of girls through there. It really, really helped me out in Thailand. Bumble came through in a couple situations, really kind of saved the day. And whether it ends up being some situation where, you're progressing some kind of, physical, sexual kind of situation or not, that's not the point. It's just about meeting somebody. So, meeting a person, hanging out with people, they have friends, you got friends and all that stuff, and you're just hanging out and having a good time. Some of the coolest chicks that I met, actually, in different places like Thailand, nothing happened. Nothing sexual happened. It just didn't. That situation didn't present itself, and but I had just as much fun, and I'm still connected to them on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's not there. I don't have this pressing need to be like, oh, I need to hook up with this girl or whatever. It's just about meeting people. So anyway, keep your options open, not just Tinder and Bumble, but another thing, if you're, let's say you're in the United States or, whatever country you're in, meetup.com is actually a good spot, and you could get in hiking groups or volleyball groups or rock climbing groups, those kind of things. And those types of things are a great way to meet people outside of the app. And, and then obviously you could end up hanging out, meeting people. They have friends. I've went on Tinder dates before and met them, and then they had friends of friends, and I ended up getting the friends of friends numbers, and then ended up hanging out with that girl later on, and never hung out with the person that I actually originally went on the date with on Tinder. So keep your options open, guys. Don't get too hung up, and if something seems fishy, it definitely could be a catfish, and watch out for the signs. Too many filters, always hiding something. If a girl is scared to be in a bathing suit, that's not a good situation. Not a good situation. So anyway, what do you guys think? Are there situations where you guys have been catfished, by these situations? And leave a comment below, and hopefully subscribe if you guys like the video. Got more coming. Anyway, guys, see you later.